Hey y'all, I'm back. We had a real bad storm yesterday, so y'all should see it. I think I would do another video where I showed like a lot of my stuff was just looking down for the count. But I already know once the sun come out, they're gonna start reaching for the sun and it's gonna be all good. But right now everything out here looks sad, y'all. But I'm gonna try to get a few steps in. I don't know how many. We shall see. Y'all know how I do it. But I'm gonna show y'all where I start. I'm gonna start at 0. Let's see if it'll focus in. Ooh. When I tell y'all it stormed bad yesterday, Joshua Garriott first, first. I'm starting at 0. Let's see, can y'all see me? Can y'all see me? I already did a little stretching. Joshua Gabriel, I like when you do your live when I can see like the scenery. Sometimes I just fall asleep to it. Not gonna tell a story. I just put it up on my TV because I don't really watch a lot of TV, and I just sit. But let me see. A few days ago, I went ahead and watched somebody else's night live because they was trying to build a watch hour. So I apologize, but I try to get through these streets and support everybody. That's why I always tell people if you're a content creator, feel free to put in the comments what your content is about. And I have no problem with, going from channel to channel and watching and supporting. I have no problem at all. Um, y'all know I always gotta come to y'all with a quick little word. Some things that I learned growing up. Y'all know what? This thing not even counting. It's not even counting, y'all. See, maybe because it's wet. I don't know. We're gonna see. It's not counting. The area was quiet. Let me see if it counts now, y'all. I want my steps to count. Let's see if it's a little uneven, maybe. Okay, anyway, so I had a little moment thinking about my grandparents again yesterday, and I want to tell y'all about the time they double teamed me. Both of them was all about like letting kids be kids, get out there and play, have fun, but sometimes we get out there and have too much fun and hurt ourselves. That happened a lot in the country. So, well, we weren't in the country, but we were raised country. Um, and whew, while we were out there playing, while we were out there playing, sometimes we would do something that we not supposed to be doing, really, and we would get hurt. We were raised where you get up, you shake it off. If you're not too hurt, if you're hurt bad enough, you go inside, get some help, get some ointment, or um, what was it? They would put a teaspoon of sugar and drop a little turpentine. Yeah, I know. Drop a little bit of turpentine, like just a little drop on that sugar, and make you take it. So, with that being said, I wanted to talk to y'all about when they double teamed me. And I had to get a lecture from both my grandma, my mama, and my granddaddy, my big daddy. And I was so hurt, my feelings was hurt more than anything. And I felt embarrassed. But these two used it as a learning moment, a teaching moment, shall I say. And everybody, all my cousins were going across this, I want to say like a little creek area. We had built us a little path going across the creek. And when I wasn't thinking about it, I was going across with no problem. And then I had another cousin that was scared of going across. So I went to look down and I was like, you fine, everybody went across, everybody went across. And my cousin was just like, it's gonna break, it's gonna break. And I was like, no. And I started pointing to my older cousins. I was like, he done did it, if she done did it, you could do it, no problem. Just go, just go. She went across, and I was so happy for her. But by then, I had started looking down at what she was looking at, and then I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize where we had placed it. We placed it like on the slopey part instead of going up a little bit further and placing it like more on solid ground. So I was like, what if it slipped right when I get on it? And I stepped on it, and I stood there for a long time, like, okay, y'all, why it slipped while I was standing there? But I didn't fall. It was one of those things where it slipped just enough where I could still walk up. And my granddaddy was out there. He was out there doing something else, so I didn't even think he noticed it. And everybody was laughing. It was like, you helped get her across, and then you got stuck and you fell. And I was like, I didn't fall. So when we got back, because we used to go all around the neighborhood from the back. When we got back, everybody was playing on this big truck. I don't know if it was the truck or the tractor. It was something, we was on the back tire. And everybody would climb up, jump off. Climb up, jump off. We did it so many times that it was like, it was nothing for us to do it. And for some reason, when I got up there, it was just a bad day for me. When I got up there, I went to jump, and it's like I was doing this number right here. And I just kept waiting and waiting. I don't know why. And I went to jump, and I hit my back. I hit my back up against the tire, and I was like, I think it was the tractor because it was real tall. It was high up. And I was like, ooh. didn't want to fall to the ground because I had the type of cousins that would laugh at you all day. That would be the joke all day, that you hurt yourself. Minister Terry Jones is in the chat. Good morning. I see your name from here. Good morning, y'all. Please give a thumbs up if you can. If you're new to the channel, don't hesitate to subscribe. I do everything over here. Y'all gonna see me cooking. Y'all gonna see me cleaning. Y'all gonna see me exercising. You might even see me on my health journey, going to the doctor back and forth. But yeah, subscribe and watch a few of my playlists so you can get caught up on what's going on in my life. So, y'all, when I hurt my back, and when I tell you I hurt it good too, I was like, ugh, ugh. And it burned, it stinged, it hurt me bad. I thought my back was broke. And I actually said that too. I said, I think I broke my back. And my granddaddy said, child, if you broke your back, you wouldn't be standing up. You wouldn't be standing up like that. And I was like, I think I broke my back. And my grandma, she came out there to the porch. What happened? I heard Key hollering. I said, I think I broke my back. Mama, I think I broke my back. And everybody was laughing to my, no, Uncle, she's still standing up. She told me she thinks she broke her back. I said, I think I did. I broke my back. And my big daddy, he said, now I'm going to tell you where you went wrong at. I said, oh, Lord, here we go. He said, I'm going to tell you where you went wrong at. I said, well, I did everything. We always jump off of there. He said, that's your second time today doing something that could have been prevented, but you started doubting yourself. I said, I doubted myself. I'm just playing. I'm just jumping around. What are you talking about? Like, at this point, I was irritated. I was over it. Why are they always giving me a lesson in the moment? I just wanted somebody to help me because my back was broke. In my head, my back was broke. I was like, oh, Lord, my mom and my big daddy, I just want them to help me. And my big daddy finna tell me where I messed up at. Oh, you messed up. And this is not the first time you messed up today. Mind you, I didn't even know he saw me when I slipped on the plank. And I had to run up the rest of the way. And my big cousin, he had to, once we all got over there, he had to readjust it, move it to the side. And like I said, it was a little something we had put together. So, to be honest, the middle part should have broke as well, because we had added some pieces along the way. But my big daddy was like, that's the second time that you hurt yourself because you doubted yourself. I was like, oh boy, here we go. And my mom was standing there with a hand on the hip. She said, now Key, tell me what happened. Because he said it's the second time. What happened? And I said, well, we were going across the creek. I had to be extra dramatic with it. We were going across the creek, and I got ready to go across the plank, and I slipped, but I didn't fall. That was my whole thing. I just had to keep reminding people, I didn't fall. I caught myself. I didn't fall. I just slipped a little bit, and the plank fell down into the creek, and I just ran up the rest of the way. She said, well, that ain't bad. That ain't nothing to be hollering about. And here go my big daddy. He said, now tell her the rest. Tell her what else, girl. He just always call me girl or gal. Tell her what else, girl. So I said, then we came up here just jumping playing, jumping off of the tractor and everything, and I hurt my back. I broke my back, Grandma. Mama, I broke my back. And she said, broke your back, let me see. So she hiking my shirt up in the back. She wanted to see if I had any scars or any bleeding or whatever. And coincidentally, it was nothing there but a long scratch. You could tell, I slid it down like that. So she said, just a little, you just got a little nick on you. That's what she called it. You just got a little nick on you. I can clean that up. That ain't nothing but all that hollering and screaming. Girl, I thought somebody was after you or something. And I said, my back is hurt. She told me to hush. She said, now you hush. And let me look at you good and make sure you didn't hurt your head or nothing. So she just looking all in my hair. She done took my ponytail down, looking all in my hair, all down my neck. And she said, yeah, you just got that little neck on you. So tell me, what happened on the tractor? And I said, I did the same thing I normally do. I got up there and I got ready to jump. And when I jumped, it was like I didn't jump far enough or something. We would normally jump up and out, up and out. And for some reason, when I jumped that time, I didn't go out. I just kind of fell on the tractor. And my big daddy said, no. She stood there and she doubted herself. This was something that she knew how to do. I done seen that guy do it a few times. I done seen her cross that thing a few times. Matter of fact, she came back across to help her cousin go across. She had already been over there, so she knew how to cross. She doubted herself. So now, him and my mama, they going back and forth because she was saying, now you ain't gonna tell this child that she ain't hurting. If she said she hurt, she hurt. And he said, I ain't say she ain't hurting. Yeah, she probably hurt. But I'm telling her she need to stop doubting herself, especially if it's something she know. He didn't say especially. Special if some she know how to do and did it 100 times before. So they going back and forth, and she upset because her grandchild is hurt, and he's upset because he feel like we're not understanding or getting his point of me doubting myself. So she took me in the house. She cleaned up my little nick, what she called it. But back then I was like, oh my goodness, it's a catastrophe. I'm hurting. Oh Lord, I'm laying across the bed like this. I'm laying across the foot of the bed. Like I'm hurt. Help me, Mama. Help me. And she went there, she got something, she cleaned me up and everything. She said, now, you gonna go back out there or you gonna stay in here with me? I said, I wanna go back outside because it had to be the summertime or something. Because this was the time of year that all my cousins was there. Everybody was there. I wanted to play. I wanted to be outside. She was like, are you sure? Because he said this the second time. You done hurt yourself today. And I said, I didn't hurt myself the first time. I just slipped a little, but I made it across. I didn't fall. I just kept saying, but I didn't fall. And when I was headed back out the side door, my granddaddy was standing by the door. I think he was about to come in while I was about to go out. And he said, I ain't say you fell. I said, you hurt yourself because you doubted yourself. I said, but I didn't fall. He said, your feelings got hurt. You didn't hurt yourself, but your feelings got hurt. I was like, then I started feeling kind of sad. Like, dog, Daddy, like, why you keep on getting on me? So I went outside, but it seemed like I couldn't play the same because now that was in my head. Like, why do I do that? Why will I start something and then question myself on it, especially if it's something that I've been doing? And now that I'm an adult, I hear that still ringing in my head sometimes. Like, you hurt yourself because you doubt yourself. And then when I told him I wasn't hurt, I didn't fall. I promise you I didn't fall. I didn't hurt myself, he said. But your feelings was hurt. Oh, y'all. When I tell y'all that rings in my head today, sometimes we don't necessarily hurt ourselves physically, but we hurt our own feelings. We hurt our ability to be able to go on, because now we got questions in our head. Now we wondering, is it gonna go right? Who's gonna pay attention? Like content creators, who's gonna want to watch me? Um, who's gonna care about my journey that I'm going through? And you start doubting yourself and you start slowing down your pace. That's the way I took it. I started slowing down my pace because I was doubting myself. I started slowing down my pace because I felt like uh, it didn't matter anyway. You know, nobody wants to hear my story. Nobody wants to see me going through this. Um, then I started doubting myself because I don't have a picturesque type of environment. I'm not one of those content creators that have a white kitchen, marble countertops, white sofas, you know, that type of setting. I don't have a big closet with shoes up the yazoo and coordinated clothing. I don't have anybody to come in my home and clean it for me. Um, I don't have fancy things. I don't have a fancy car. So at one point, I started doubting myself, and I slowed down the amount of content I was putting out. I slowed down on what all I say, because I felt like um, some people were getting offended by the things that I say, or some people would do things like go back to their own content and make a whole video based off of something that I said in my video, and they would think that I didn't catch on. But in actuality, I'm sitting and I'm watching everybody to support everybody, so I'm catching on to everything. I even catch on to when you start talking about another content creator, not just me. So I started thinking about my grandparents a lot, and I started thinking about the things that they taught me, the little lessons that they gave me along the way. And when I started talking about some of the things my grandmother taught me, my mama Emma, it led me up to my big daddy. My big daddy passed on when I was 11 years old. And I'm trying to prevent from saying people's names. And one of my uncles repeated something that he called them pops. One of my uncles repeated something that my big daddy had told me when he passed, and that stuck with me too, because I felt like I needed to hear that in that moment. So When my granddaddy passed, I was 11. And before they put him in the ambulance, he wasn't a lovey-dovey man. He was a big country man that worked in construction. And I remember the last time I saw him in the land of the living, they would put him up in the ambulance and he had a black skull cap. And he looked at me and he could barely say it because he had a stroke. But he said, "I'm going to be all right, T. I'm going to be all right, T." And I said, "I know it. I know it." And he said, "Stop doubting yourself." And this was something he had told me years ago, but for some reason, that day, he said it again. And he could barely say it because he could hardly talk good because he had a stroke. And they would put him in the ambulance and he said, told me to stop doubting myself. So after the burial and everything, after all that went on, the family had to go out and make sure they had put the whatever you call it, the stone or whatever on there. So I had to go with them because, like I said, I was a kid. So at the time I was over there with them. So that's just the way it was back then. If you was in the house or whatever and your grandparents had to go somewhere, everybody hopped in the Cadillac and had to go. So y'all, we went up there and I said, "Oh my God." I started trying to tell them, we need to look at the dates. I said, because I noticed it at the funeral, but I didn't think nobody would pay attention to me. But I think we need to pay attention to these dates. And I will never forget. I said, "Y'all don't find that strange that he was born in 1919 and passed in 1991? And I had somebody else kind of shoo me off, like laugh at me and kind of push me to the side, like, you tripping, whatever." And I said, no, I'm serious. We might want to, we might want to remember that. We might want to write that down or something. that's so. It kept catching my eye. Put it like that. It just kept catching me. 1919, 1991, and I was like, we might want to look into the year 1919, see what was going on or something, because I kept focusing on that date. 1919 to 1991. He passed when I was 11 years old. And with that being said, one of my uncles noticed that I was getting shooed off a lot, so I just kind of hid myself. I'm waiting for the plane. So one of my uncles noticed that I just kind of started wandering off and looking at the other plots and stuff and looking at the dates because I thought that was strange. And so I started telling myself, like, it's not a big deal. Why are you looking so into that date? Shake it off, stop thinking about it. I started just kind of replaying it in my head how everybody thought I was overdoing it with noticing the dates. So I just started getting quiet and just kind of walking off to myself and just looking around because I didn't want to be a nuisance. They were their own business. They was there to make sure everything was the way it was supposed to be. And here it is. I'm getting in the way. That's what I was saying to myself. Like, here it is again. I'm just getting in the way. And it's not making any sense. But I need to just leave it alone. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I had another uncle. He called him Pop. And he said, "You miss Pop, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, he talked to me for a little bit. He put his arm around me to walk me back up there to the family. And when we got up there to the family, he said, and I quote because I would never forget this day. He said, "Auntie, you need to stop doubting yourself." Pat me on the back and walk back over there with his brothers. He told me the exact same thing that Big Daddy kept trying to tell me. Stop doubting yourself. And when he pat me on the back, he said, "Auntie, you need to stop doubting yourself." And then when we all got ready to leave, he said, "You all right, Niecy?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be all right." He said, "All right, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear." But y'all, when I tell you, we all need it. We all need that. We all need to stop doubting ourselves. When you know you're on to something, when you know you're doing something, stop doubting yourself. Because that's when you hurt yourself. You're not hurting nobody. You're not hurting nobody but yourself. Let me see if I can get it up a little bit. All right. But y'all, just remember what I said. You hurt yourself when you start doubting yourself. Thank you, Minister Terry Jones. You know I love reading your comments. Your family would have played those numbers. I know, right? And I was also thinking that too. I was like, y'all sure we don't want to look at those numbers? Like, so, I didn't know anything about the numbers and stuff like that, but I was just like, somebody might want to write this down or something. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I know I can't never get it to adjust right. So today I did 1,200 steps. Let me know if y'all can see that. Get into the game of life. Did y'all used to play that game? The life game? That used to be the thing. Like, it'll pull the whole family together. Y'all can see it a little bit. I did it. And I'm glad you had talked about it. I got my box. And I wanted to open it on video. I wanted to share what I purchased. I want to purchase some more because I saw a few more things that I like, but I ain't want to overdo it just in case the hubby be like, "Well, what are you doing?" But I'm gonna do little by little. But yeah, that was on my mind today, y'all, about how my grandmama and my granddaddy double teamed me that time, and they was both getting on me at the same time. And she was getting on me because I was out there hollering, and she thought somebody was after me. And my granddaddy was out on to me because he kept saying, "You down yourself, you down yourself." And he was he was the type where he wanted the kids to be kids. He wanted you to get out there and get your little scuffs and little knee cuts, your whatever. You know, he had no problem with telling you to shake something off. You fall, get up, dust yourself off, keep going. And it was my grandmama that came out and was like, "Now you ain't finna tell this girl that she ain't her." And she hollering, so something wrong. They were going back and forth. And that was so funny to me. But at the same time, I was just like, "Well, somebody just help me. Loud, I hit my back. I broke my back." And his lesson to me that day was, you hurt yourself because you down yourself. And that holds true today. In a lot of things that I do, I think I'm hurting myself because I keep down myself. I'll start something and then I'll start down if people are really gonna want to hear me out, or but at the same time I've been told so many times to hold my feelings in or don't say nothing, um, and it's to the point where it's like I'm tired of protecting everybody else around me. I'm tired of looking out for everybody else's feelings and nobody's looking out for mine. Um, I'm the only one in my family that, and I'm glad top to bottom is in here. I'm the only one in my family that does certain things, so uh, and believes certain things. And I won't get too deep into it, but I have been really treated really badly about it, and basically made to feel like my feelings are invalid. But at the same time, I'm just going by my beliefs. I respect everybody else's beliefs, but they don't respect mine, and it's a little disheartening, because we're all going by the same word. So it's kind of crazy how that niceness can turn into meanness so quick because it's not the same thing that they. Um, I hope you understand, because it's so hard to find people that are on the same um, wavelength that I'm on. I don't know the right words to say, because like I said, for some reason people get so offended by everything I say, so I try to watch my words. But it's just certain things that I may not do, or it's some things that I'm still working on, so I try to stay away from certain things because I'm working on that and I don't want to be tempted or something like that. So instead of people respecting that, they laugh, they mock, they say I'm in a cult or whatever, just because I'm believing in the same thing that we all believe in. I just feel like hold true to it, and you just feel like, well, he didn't mean this time. He meant back then, stuff like that. So it's really strange, but I need to remember what my granddad said. Like, you hurt yourself because you doubt yourself. And this is one of those instances where um, I don't want to hurt myself because I'm doubting myself. I don't want to. We always strike out in life. The failure is not getting back to the plate and taking our next swing. That's it. That's it right there. I love when Minister Terry Jones is in the chat. That's it right there. It's it's when you it's when you give up on yourself. That's when the failure comes in. It's when you stop trying. Stop trying. You are absolutely right. When I was up on that back tie, the failure came when I was down myself and I didn't push out. I didn't what they call follow through. I didn't follow through. I started doubting myself. I started inching backwards. And when I jumped, I just gave it a half attempt. And I hurt myself. And my granddaddy called me out on it. He called me out on it. Like I said, he was a country man. Like he was real country. Like he didn't care if we was outside playing barefoot. He didn't care if we was out there playing with sticks. He didn't care if we were climbing trees. But he always had a little lesson. Him and my grandmama, they always had a little lesson in them. And some of the things that they taught me stick with me to this day. And that was one of the main things. And I think it was because of how it was presented to me in me hurting myself. And he said, I said, I ain't fall the first time. And he said, but your feelings was hurt. And he was right. My feelings was hurt because everybody was laughing at me. And all I was trying to do was help another cousin cross over. Then when I crossed over, that's when it slipped. And my feelings was hurt. So he was right. My feelings was hurt bad. And then the second time, I hurt myself. I hurt my back. And he said, you hurt yourself because you doubted yourself. And in this instance, with the content creating and everything, I don't want to start doubting myself to the point where I hurt myself. And in this, my long-term goal really is to help other people that may be just getting a diagnosis of having leukemia. I want to let people know that I went through it. I understand the struggle. I understand the pain. But just like I got through it, you can get through it too. You can do this. I wanna actually let people know that leukemia is real. You got some people thinking that if they do certain things that they can dodge cancer, but in actuality, we're all breathing in toxins. We're all cleaning with toxins. We're eating toxins. It's just everywhere around us. So my thing is get your spiritual right and be prepared just in case anything happens. And to top it off, don't doubt yourself. Goes with today's lesson. Don't doubt yourself. So with that being said, I'm gonna actually go in, shower up, get cleaned up, and I'm actually gonna find scripture today that will be great examples of what I'm leaning towards today. It's not doubt yourself. Even though you know that what you're facing is tough, or you may be criticized, you may be mocked. Like you said, if you don't get up and swing again, that's when the failure comes in. Don't doubt yourself. Keep pushing, keep going, especially if you know you're not hurting anybody, you're not doing anything wrong, you're doing something positive, you're doing something that you are passionate about. That's just the word that came to me today. I don't know how that can help somebody else, but I know it's going to help me throughout the day. Don't doubt yourself. Keep pushing. Keep going. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Because that's what the enemy wants is for you to doubt yourself. The enemy wants you to step back. The enemy wants you to slip. The enemy wants you to second guess yourself. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to step back. I'm not going to second guess myself. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. That's one of my favorite poems. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. And y'all, I've been going through it. I've been going through it for the past, I want to say 3 or 4 years. I've been going through it, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to doubt myself because I know that that's what the enemy wants. I know I'm not hurting nobody. I know I'm doing something positive. I know I'm doing the right thing. Um, but I also know what kind of world we live in. We live in a world where now wrong is right and right is wrong. Shalom. Shalom, my sister. Thank you, Minister Terry Jones. Thank you. Well, that with that being said, y'all, if y'all see me popping in doing lives from time to time, please don't feel obligated to have to sit and watch the whole thing. I understand everybody has a life out there, and today is Sabbath, so I will be resting, reading, and tuning in to some of my fellow classmates. Like I said, I try not to say too much on here because I know some people get upset, but I will be tuning in to some of my classes for today and get my mind right, resting my body, and yeah, spending time with the Most High. So, with that being said, y'all know how I do it. Gracias por ver. Thanks for watching. Adios. Bye.